Oh, where'd you guys show up from? A second ago, you guys weren't here. Took you guys 4 minutes to get here. Gee, it used to be like about 3 seconds. No wonder. I don't feel that you guys need me. So, good to see you all. There is Chris, says, hello Mehran, hope all is okay and you've had a good week. Thank you very much. Steven says, male 39, Los Angeles. Hello Steven, thanks for that. Majid, where have you been? Says, salam Mehran. Mehran Jan, khubin shoma. Merci, khubam, merci. Majid says, salam Mehran Jan, how are you? I'm good, thank you very much. Good to be here. Love you guys all. And I mean, love all of you guys. That's what I meant. I'm good. I've been hitting the gym regularly. And just for the first time, I start BCAA last night. Meaning the amino acids, which I never took before. So the essential amino acids that we need and we get through eggs and meat and so on. And since I don't want to eat that much meat and all that, so I eventually, got it, and it's all right. So maybe, and I also got some L-arginine, which is good for repairing the inner linings of blood vessels and helps the circulation of the blood, hoping to also help with the with other good things that it's supposed to offer. And Majid says, so I'm dating a new Persian girl. Aha! Taking things super slow, things to progress slowly. Good, slow is good. And says, yes, if you remember Mehran, I gym a lot, so amino acids are lovely, especially L-arginine, very, yes, that's right. So I think at my age I should take some of these natural supplements that I don't get through food. So hope everybody has been having a good days and nights and sorting things out for yourselves. SL says, so since my breakup and Skyping with you, I've continued to work on improving myself in every way I can. I have been doing really well, actually. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. Thanks for sharing that. That's what we are here for. That's what we do here. We want you guys to be strong and understand your own psyche, understand where these desires come from, understand why you feel the way you do and what you should do to move on, how to move on, by understanding, having knowledge about the role of your psyche in all these. Not to think that this is something that you're a victim and you have no say in it and you should feel miserable as you do, and not understanding that it is only the fact that you want something that makes you feel like the way you do. And if you just unwant what you want, there will be no problems for you to move on and find bigger and better things. Don't get stuck in something just because you desire it, because it is not that thing that you really think makes a difference in your life. It is the desire that makes you want that thing, go after it. Desire wants to be pleased, fulfilled by pleasure. And if you understand that, then you will see that you have all the control in the world to control how you feel and not to desire. How? Well, there's a video I have, says desire and how to stop it. It explains how desire comes about, what are the prerequisites, steps that it takes for desire to be born, and its relationship with pleasure, and it helps you where in the process of desire taking shape and being born, you can simply cut the connection and not let it to be that heavily pronounced and affect your life. Lots of other videos on this channel. As you know, Oh, I forgot. I gotta introduce myself. My name is Mehran. And on this channel, we talk about thoughts, fear, desire, ego, consciousness, mechanical process, order, material process, everything to do with with the movement of the mind, with your psyche. We talk about it. We use all that information to talk and help you talk about your breakups and help you to move on from your breakup and find bigger and better things in your life. We have over 1,500 videos and counting on this channel, and pretty much anything under the sun that you can think of after a breakup, you will have a video or two or a lot more. If you just go on my search engine on my channel and type in how you feel, and then let's say feel breakup or loneliness or desire or exams, how it affects your your mood, anxiety, depression, OCD, whatever it is that is this breakup has caused you or just caused you somehow. You type it in and you're bound to get a video or two or more. And if that wasn't enough, these are all free, over 1,500 videos. You will have your answers there. If still not, and you wanted to talk to me, you can always go on YouTube, on what is it, YouTube? No, you're here, on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. And there you will find a lot more support material, such as books in form of print or in form of ebooks, or you can have a package called the Ultimate Breakup Cure package, which has lots of perks in it and lots of discounts for Skype consultation, and lots of the books come with it for free, the ebooks, and lots of other support material that is there. You got to check it out and see what's included in that package. And also there's about 85 star videos that's selected when you become member for 1 year there. You'll have access to all those videos without you having to search to see which video pertains to you, which one you should watch first. It's all selected, all the important videos, more important videos that can help you get out of that rut that you're sitting in right away. And of course, many other things. And plus, if you wanted to talk to me from my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, you can click on Talk to Mehran via Skype, make an appointment, and of course, for the time being, I think soon I will change that. For a 30 minutes booking, I'll give you 1 hour. For 1 hour booking, I'll give you 2 hours. That's my gift, again, to make it all affordable for people around the world who need to talk to me and they can't get their answers through the free videos that we have on this channel, over 1,500, which I think should be enough. So I've made everything to be free for you. But if you don't have the answers that you're looking for, then there's always other supports available. So don't forget to promote the channel for me. With all these things that we're doing here, I need exposure. We're still unknown. I appreciate if you guys can share it on your social medias, and anything else you can do to promote the channel and talk about it, I don't know, on chat sites and stuff like that. All right, now, having plugged my channel and what we do, let's go on and see what you guys have to say today. Majid says, if you want to lift weight, take creatine, you mean? Creative anyhow. Creatine, you probably mean. Anyhow, I'll stop now. Missed you, Mehran and Mehran Pahlavan. Okay, thank you very much. No, I think I'm good with the BCAA, and I think I haven't started L-arginine, but I'll try maybe just a little bit. 5 grams a day should be plenty, and hopefully that will help the overall fitness and help to the blood circulations and so on and so forth. And Chris says, I have realized that I got into a relationship too quickly after my 16-year one. I didn't give myself time to discover who I was. I know now this affected my new relationship. It was me that didn't open up. Because I didn't know who I was or what makes me tick. I didn't know myself to talk about what I wanted. I only briefly talked about buying our house, but I realized I should have given myself more time after the 16-year relationship to get to know myself and stand on my own 2 feet before getting involved with someone else when I wasn't emotionally or mentally ready. Chris continues, says, in the end, I think she just gave up on me because I was confused with who I was. It's only looking back now I can see this. Well, lucky you. Because from what you told me in our conversations, on top of what you just said, it would be a shame to be moving from a 16-year relationship and still devastated and trying to hang on to any branch you can find so it will break your fall and you won't, hit the ground too hard. Imagine if you're falling from top of the tree, you're going to grab on any branch. You're not going to be selective. You just want to break your fall. You just want to save yourself. So when you are brokenhearted from a long-term relationship, it's like you're falling, and you're going to grab onto any girl that pays attention to you in order to break your fall, in order to feel safe, in order to feel secure, in order to save yourself from the devastation that you're feeling at the moment. So your selection is not just about not knowing yourself. You don't even know who you're choosing. You're just using her, the opportunity, in order for you to not to be hurt from the fall that you're just going through. So it's not just that you didn't know yourself well. By that, you're assuming that she was a perfect choice for you. Just because you didn't give yourself time from that breakup, just because you say you didn't know yourself, just because you say that you weren't in the right mindset, that doesn't mean that she was the right choice and a perfect person with a perfect situation and offering you all the things that you would have needed, even though if you knew yourself. Face it, you simply chose her because you were falling and you were trying to save yourself. And she is to blame as well, not just you. She knew that you came out of a long relationship. She knew that she's catching someone who's falling. She knew if she was brave enough and she would have simply known that you're vulnerable and this could have happened, then you would also be able to share the guilt, the fault between both of you, not just you. The girl came into your life when you were most vulnerable and needy with 3 kids. And you're telling me that you're supposed to have been understood it all and wanted to be a father to 3 kids after 16-year-old marriage just failed, broke up, you changed courses, and now you're responsible, you find yourself responsible that you should have understood where you are, what your role is in that, to become a father to 3 children, to become a husband to her, and not being able to have some kind of a basis to build your life on, when you suggested to her that let's have a house together and not just rent from your mom and pay your mom's mortgage, let's have a house for ourselves because we're paying for it, what did she do? She said, no, no. Why? You can't just simply blame yourself. I'm saying you should blame both of you. You're just as much, she's just as much as at fault as you are. The fact that you're trying to take all the blame, again, is putting her on pedestal because your need for pleasure, intimacy, and we men love women, heterosexual male loves women, and we are weak in that department in the way of think of them as if they are only represented by how we feel and what we need in the department of pleasure. You must go beyond that and qualify the woman for who she is, not for why you need her. Why you need her, you desire her for pleasure, and that masks everything else that is may not be the right and suitable characteristics of her for you. You cannot see it. Why? Because you're fully focused on your desire for pleasure. I'm asking you to go further. Expect from women, because they are capable, they are amazing, they are intelligent, they are valuable, experienced, capable. Do not look at them as just a pleasure point. Expect a lot more. Women today are a lot more than you give credit to them. And for that reason, you must expect more. Don't look at them disrespectfully. Don't look at them, oh, you know, I want them because, they can provide pleasure. Therefore, that's all I should focus on. No. They bring a lot more to life, and they can take a lot more out of life if you are not compatible and if you do not consider all their qualifications, good or bad. You can't just focus on the fact that they're pretty, therefore they're qualified for everything. Just like what you're taking into a relationship, you gotta see what are they bringing to a relationship. You got out of a 16-year-old relationship devastated. You got into a relationship for your own selfish reasons, which was using her so you will not fall and you will feel secure. You have somebody, you won't be lonely. But at the same time, you forgot to look at her. What is she bringing to the situation? She brought 3 kids. And her attitude, her manners, and uncooperative ways of, trying to understand where you're coming from. She was also trying to use you. Whether purposely or unpurposely, neither one of you really thought it through that I'm going to use the other one. No. But in fact, it turned that way. You were using her to save yourself, and she was using you as a vulnerable sheep has shown up, and, let me lasso the sheep and make him do what I want. Why? Because he's in need. He's in need of my companionship. He's in need of my kindness. He's in need of everything that I can show him. So let me also give him 3 kids to be a father to. Let him also have him pay for the rent for my mom's home. Let him also not get his share of being in this relationship by building something together, buy a house together, and have him some kind of a asset filled. Let me just use him to make my life easier. If you look at it, you will see that both of you were using each other and not respecting each other. You weren't respecting her by looking at her more than the what you're programmed to pursue, a female, and instead you should have looked at her as an intelligent being who has needs and responsibilities that she's taking care of in life. Her children are there, her job is there, her personal goals are there, everything is there, and you were not looking at if they're compatible with what you have in mind as a form of relationship with a new woman. And she wasn't looking at where you were. She was thinking about, okay, yeah, that's a good one. He's going to do whatever I want. And she wasn't focusing on, you're doing whatever she wants because you need to, because you're lost, because you're hurt, you're injured, your wing is broken. So both of you are at fault. That's what I have to say about that. So stop beating yourself as if you are the one. And by that, again, you're bringing her higher and higher with no real qualifications. There's nothing wrong to bring your partner as high as you can. Put her on pedestal if you want. No problem. But make sure she deserves it. She's qualified for that attention. And same for the girls. You can put your man on pedestal as much as you want, but make sure he deserves it. Make sure he fits the bill. Not just because you have needs for provisions, you have needs for this and that, and then you're creating something out of nothing to the point that you start believing it, oh, he's everything, and you can't even move on and have any kind of a balanced relationship. It goes both ways. Having said that, we'll discuss it further later. Chris. All right. Now, by the way, I do have my camera on, but I did not push the recording. So, mind you, just give me a second. I will do that. All right. Okay. Now we're back. Let's see. Who do we have here? SL says this past Monday, my ex showed up to my house late at night. Very emotional. She didn't want to leave. Have a cup of tea, guys. Life is short. If I want to read all of that, I'll miss the hot tea, right? Lovely. Now, so this past Monday, my ex showed up to my house late at night, very emotional. She didn't want to leave, and I felt bad on how she looked sad. She's in a rebound relationship, but yet she comes back to see me. Lucky you. Und was there a point here, or was it just the news? Yeah, there was a continuation of the other one. Well, okay, as long as you're a gentleman and you will not lead her on, you will protect her from yourself. Protect her from yourself, your desires, your devious mind. You, as men, every man who's listened to this, must protect your woman, not just from the outside and whatever else is out there that you can do good for her, also from your own selfishness, and from your own desires to use her for your own benefit and pleasure. You must protect her even from yourself. That's a good man. That's a gentleman. Now, if everything is clear, and she is willing by knowledge of where you are, where she is, then you guys can establish some kind of relationship, whatever it is that you guys do, but must be clear to both of you. Do not be devious. Do not use each other. Be clear, be open, and make your positions clear, not to hide your inner real goals just to get a certain kind of agenda that you might have, pleasure, intimacy, or just feel good about yourself by stringing someone along. Don't do any of that. That sets you apart from other guys out there. Both of you, men or women, sets you apart from other people and makes you feel good about yourself because you've been strong, honest, fair, protective, even protective of her against your own desires. All right. Jeremy says, Male 21 Oregon. Hello, Jeremy. Good to see you here. Jeremy says, how's it going, everyone? Well, I guess everyone is doing good. We're delighted that you're here. Jeremy says, I'm trying to figure out why I'm always awkward when I run into old high school classmates in the public. Because you have given value to their opinion of you. Because you think they are somebody, and them thinking highly of you gives you value. Who the hell are they? What have they made out of themselves? And I don't care what they have, no matter what they have made out of themselves. How could their opinion about you have any value? You seem to have given a value, a certain value to their opinion about you. Why? Why? Who are they? The reason, one reason for that is that you're not observing them as they are, their actuality. When you look at them, you're perceiving them as how they behaved with you or how you felt at a younger age with not much confidence at school, which we all have gone through it one way or another, one day this way, one day that way, or if somebody was trying to pretend they're this and that, or they were bullying others or bullying you, or some girl you liked and you weren't confident enough and you felt kind of maybe shy or not so confident. So all of that is still in your mind. When you see these idiots, you still think you're that kid in the high school or in the school, and they are whoever they were then, which they were just a bunch of dickheads not knowing really what's going on, but they just were too full of themselves. And not because they were anything, because you weren't thinking much of yourself, or you were just a nice guy. And those guys were all these big talks and bullshit and nonsense. And look at them now. Focus on them who they are now. Because I bet you they're not nearly as arrogant or confident as they seemed or pretend to be when they were in your school. So look at them as who they are, and you'll see they're just struggling with life the way everybody else is doing. And their opinion about you does not define you. It never did. It was your thought of their opinion about you being important that was causing you to define yourself and thinking that their opinion is defining you. But in fact, it was you. Your own thoughts were defining you by having created an image, and you thought that image would be modified or glorified if some idiot out there in school thinks good of you while they themselves need somebody else to think good of them in order to feel good about themselves. Because what had they accomplished at that time to feel confident that you thought they were? They were just bullies, or they were just pretending. And you know how people pretend they're wealthy when they walk in a store when they have no money in their pocket, but they have to, because that's the only way they can fit the place. Yeah. But most of them don't have that much money in their pocket anyhow, but they're just pretending. That's not good. Not that I really like it, I don't have the money to buy it, but do you have a different color? So the same thing with the kids at school. They're full of shit. They just try to feel good about themselves by bullying somebody else or pretending that they don't need anything and they're really confident. And some other people buy into it. They believe it. But if they really would poke a little bit further, investigate, they see they're just all pretense. Now you have an opportunity to look at them to who they are. Instead of thinking that they are the same as then and you are the same as then, and perceiving and letting it trigger, and then you think they're still important, their opinion is important or should be important about you, and you feel awkward. Instead, look at who they are, look at who you are, and understand this is not the same time as it was then, and you have no need for their affirmation at all whatsoever. You are you and they are them, and you have no need for their opinion about you to feel good about yourself or not. You feel good about yourself based on how you negotiate your daily life, how you contribute to the society, how you accomplish your task. That's all. It's independent from them or their thoughts or whatever else they may be into or affecting you in any way, shape, or form. So, understand you don't need it and you'll be fine. And we have Sid. Good to see you here, Sid. Sid says, Aloha General, male 31, Estonia, missed you, Mehran. Yes, of course, we missed you as well. You haven't shown up. What the hell's been going on? Glad that you're here. Let's focus on that. Sid says, Mehran, what is your advice when I am feeling overwhelmed? Just take life moment by moment. When you are overwhelmed, it's because your mind is traveling forward, focusing and concerned about things that hasn't happened and may never happen. But you have conjured it up, created something that hasn't happened in the future by your thoughts, but you're back here in the present moment trying to solve that illusory problem that you just conjured up. And because that illusory problem hasn't happened, it's an idea, then whatever you conjure up as a remedy right now, you cannot apply it. When you cannot apply it, the problem remains as problem in your thought because you weren't able to apply the remedy that you came about. And because you can't apply it, the problem won't go away because still in the form of idea in your mind, you haven't created that image of, yeah, the remedy was applied and the problem went away. Because the problem hasn't happened yet, it doesn't exist, you're applying a remedy to something that doesn't exist. So as no matter how good the remedy is, the problem will not go away because it doesn't exist. You're trying to cure a fictional injury. And since there is no injury, you can't see the improvement. Therefore, you're constantly in anxiety of, I'm overwhelmed. Well, because you're overwhelmed, you're thinking about things that hasn't happened, may never happen, but you're trying to remedy it, and the remedy doesn't work because that thing is not in existence. And then you start getting anxious. Why is it not working? So I still have to come up with another kind of a remedy. And you go through this constantly. And he says, overwhelmed by what will happen after PhD. See, there we go. That was exactly as we were talking about. Writing my thesis and also some work at the same time. Take life day by day. When a problem appears and you have already figured out things you have to do so to diminish the possibility of certain problems that we can, and yet then after a while a problem does appear, then you will deal with it. But if you constantly want to go around and worry about things that hasn't happened, remedy them, bring about the remedy, it will be like someone who hasn't gotten sick but has gotten all kinds of medicines from the doctors and bought it from the pharmacy and brought it home and storing it when there are no diseases. But you are wondering and worried, what if? So let me get that, buy that medicine and that medicine and that medicine and store them. Now you have a problem with storage. Where am I going to keep all these? And I'm afraid, what if I get the disease? So maybe I should have him. But when I'm having him, it doesn't let me have a storage for other things that I really need now. That's what you're doing with your imagination. Instead of using it to resolve the day-to-day challenges and accomplish your task on that day, you're having your imagination and your fuel and your resources spent on something that there's no need for it. I want to go on a trip, you say. Let me buy gasoline. I may need it for my car to take me on that trip. So you buy gasoline and store it in your yard. Oh, now there's hazards of all these gasoline there. And I have no space to put the apples and everything else that I want to store. So what am I going to do? Well, because you started remedying something that doesn't exist. And it took all your space, gasoline in the store, the medicine in the house, gasoline in the yard, and you have no space for anything else, or no ability, imagination, or time to focus on the things that you should be dealing with at that moment. So, live in the now. Live in the moment. Right now, there are no problems that you're thinking about. What's going to happen after my PhD? Well, the PhD is not here yet. So nothing's going to happen until the PhD is here. So let's focus on the stages that it takes for that problem to appear. What's the stage? Well, I got to get my PhD. So why don't we focus on doing what we need to be doing right now? There is no PhD, so there is no existence of what's going to happen after PhD. Once we have it, then we're going to see what avenues open up, because then our imagination and focus will be on something that is worth pondering on, because we're facing with it. Why should I spend my energy facing with something that is not really here? There are other things that needs my attention. It's like I put you guys on hold, say, look, I'm waiting for a question coming, and I think somebody will give me a question. These are the questions. Why don't we talk about these? No. There's a bigger question coming. I wonder, what am I going to say about that? But I don't know the question yet to even think about what I'm going to be saying it. But I'm thinking about it. That's waste of time, waste of energy. So this is what you're doing. I hope that gives you an idea what I'm trying to show. And Sid says, my brain might just explode. Well, so why don't we just enjoy the moment, focus on the things that we should be focusing on, so the mind will be put to a good positive work and we won't explode. Sid says, I just feel like a loser, a burden on the planet, and as if I might die alone. Oh, Sid, you know, as intelligent as I think you are, at this moment I think you're full of shit, and you should stop thinking that way, because you're a highly qualified individual, highly passionate about life, a positive member of this society. There is nothing wrong with you. So stop the bullshit, because what you're doing, you're trying to bring empathy to yourself, by yourself, but you don't need to. You don't need that attention from you to you. You already have that attention from you to you, because you are you. You're not outside of you to try to get the attention of what you have created of yourself outside of your brain, to pay attention to you, to think good about yourself, because these are all your own thoughts. You don't need to mandate your thoughts as an observer, as a watcher, which you've created out of your thoughts and created it to be outside of you, and having it to judge you, and you want to look good and be considered as a good person by that what you have created outside of you, which is your own thoughts. And you're trying to get the kudos of that which is outside of you, which is created by you, which is your own thoughts, which is you. So you're trying to give kudos to you, but not really saying that it is me that is giving kudos to myself. You just want someone to say you're doing good. Well, I'm telling you, you don't need that, because you are doing good. You're doing everything good. Just be patient. Don't be so hard on yourself. Who's putting you up to these things? Abusing you. What for? Why are you expecting so much out of yourself? It's not good. No need for it. You don't need to expect so much out of yourself. You're just a normal human being. You're not a creator. You're not responsible for everything that is going wrong in this world. You're only responsible to do your best in everything you do within reason. That's all. That's your responsibility. Be a good, civilized human being, not to be a negative energy to the society and community you live in, amongst. And that's all. Nothing else you should worry about. None. Zero. Loser? Far from it. You haven't seen losers. I feel like a loser that I'm here after 5 years of doing this channel, and I've got 8 people watching. and that is a loser, not anybody else. The channel's got over 1,500 videos, helps everybody from A to Z, and it's unknown. The ones who find it, they swear by it, but we are not found so easily. That's a loser. Now, let's go on to the next question, because I think you're wasting your time. You're too good to get involved with that kind of a nonsense. And Jeremy says, have you been to Indonesia, Mehran? No. But I've had Indonesian friends. But no, I hear it's very beautiful. I think Jakarta is one of their main cities. All right. Please don't all of you talk at the same time, one by one. Where are the feedbacks? Did you guys hear what I said? Sid says, thank you for the wise word, General. You're welcome. Use it. God damn it, use it. Don't just hear it. Hearing is not enough. Sid says, like always. Thank you for that, Sid. Jose Carlos says, Dear Mehran. Yes, Jose. Says, what about dealing with the regret if messing up? Oh, there's no reason to regret. You see, when one decides to do something, at the time that one decides to make a decision, at the time that one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. Based on the knowledge, information, stage of life, and experiences that you have and is available to you, you make a decision at a certain time. At the time that you make your decision, it's been made based on all that what I just named. That was what was available to you. You had no more knowledge, experience, or know-how to make a different decision. You made that decision, whatever it was, based on your level of knowledge, experience, abilities, and the opportunity that was there in the time frame and all the constraints, everything considered. Now, later on, after you have made that decision and gone through that experience and see the consequence of the decision, and other information become available to you, based on that experience and other information that became available to you, you may decide that I could have made a different decision. But that was not available to you at the time that you were making the decision. These information, extra knowledge and experience information, came to you afterwards. So at the time that you made the decision, you had that amount of information, and based on that, you made that decision. Later on, something else comes to your mind or comes to, present itself that wasn't available to you when you were making the decision. So you cannot have a regret for what was not available to you, what you did not know. Because no one will make a decision, no decent person, I'm talking about positive life, and not about devious people or people who intend malice. We're talking about normal settings and normal people. At the time that one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. If it didn't think it's correct, it wouldn't make it. Nobody's crazy, other than the crazy people, nobody's crazy to make a decision that is not, seems to be a logical and a good, positive decision. So if you make it because you believe it's correct, of course, other than harming other people and doing crazy stuff. So there is no regret. Why should you regret? You can't be here and also be in the future to have known that if I make this decision, I will be regretting it in the future, because you have no knowledge of what the future would have been. So you're creating all kinds of unexpected, unreasonable expectations, and to blame yourself because you think blaming yourself will make you look good in the eyes of the watcher. And the watcher that you've created could be your God, a fictitious character, or something you believe, or something that you think is judging you, which is actually your own thought, judging you, looking at you from above, outside of you, and seeing what you're doing, which is all your thoughts. So again, everywhere you look at it, there is no reason for regret whatsoever. As long as you use your knowledge, your know-how, be fair, and think deep, and judge well, and then make your decision, you have nothing to regret, as long as you don't harm anyone or hurt anyone. So we're not talking about mischiefs or malice or things like that, just regular things in life. Thank you, Sid. My pleasure. Excalibur says, greetings, Mehran. Hope you are doing great, dear. Thank you very much, Excalibur. I appreciate it. I'm here. I'm doing what I can. But I still need you guys to promote this channel. We're dying here, guys. 6 years, live talk, 10 people. You tell me, what are we doing here? Now, Chris says, thank you, Mehran. We were both guilty of things, not just me. The person I am now would not have made some of the decisions I did back then. Correct. But you are a different person based on life goes on and experiences come to be new. And you can't have all the experiences you will have in life yesterday. Otherwise, yesterday would not be called yesterday. It would be called future. And there would be no yesterday, there would be no now, there would be all future, 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 which means nobody would exist. And says it's all about learning and growing, but the me I'm now would have made different decisions. I have saved a deposit for a house, so I'm taking forward steps. Good for you. Good for you. Jeremy says, see you, Mehran, and everyone else. I'm going to go get a haircut. Ah, good. Go get a haircut. Jose Carlos says, thank you very much. You're welcome. And Excalibur says, Mehran, can you tell me again what supplements you take daily? I want to take note of them. All right? I take astaxanthin, resveratrol, vitamin D, and K2D3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I take zinc. I take Norwegian kelp. I take liver support. I take silica, I believe. I take I like to take oil of oregano, but I couldn't find it in a capsule the other day, so I forgot. And there are a bunch of other things I take which I don't remember right off the bat. I started to take BCAA at my workout, and you can have it during the day, just 5 grams a day. One short, small scoop. And I'm going to start L-arginine and see how that goes. Or you can have um, citrulline, L-citrulline, I believe, which it turns into L-arginine in the body, if I'm not mistaken. And that's another way, but I guess I'm going to take L-arginine. I'm taking lots of, CoQ10, I'm taking CoQ10. And turmeric is good, which I've run out. I have to get some. I usually put it in all my food, but there's a supplement that you can take it without having to have it in your food. And a bunch of other things which I don't remember really now. Excalibur says, wow, with all those minerals, you must feel great right now. I don't know. The age, I never took any of these when I was much younger, none of them. And I felt much better than I always do now. But I think the age will catch up with you. And Excalibur says, when did the live talk starts? 55 minutes ago. The damn notification do not work. Yeah, why is the notification doesn't work in my case? I mean, if I have over 18,000 subscribers, I bet you there would be more who want to join the live talk. So I wonder, why is it that I'm not visible, or at least not alerts don't go to all my subscribers. Maybe they haven't pushed the bell. Maybe it's their fault. I don't know. That's mostly why I didn't join in some time. Really? No, well, I haven't had live talk for the past 2-3 weeks. I've been busy and didn't really find myself useful that much for the hour or two that I spend here because I shave off from other things that I do. But when I'm here, there's like usually 10, 12 people. That's it. So I find it a little bit disappointing. Excalibur said the last notification I received was over 400 days ago. Really? There's something wrong with this YouTube system, I guess. No, past 2 weeks I didn't have any. Maybe once. Yeah, YouTube, I don't know. There's no notification. But I guess it works in a way. Like, I know my son had a live streaming the other day and he had over 23,000 people participating in his live stream. 23,000 people, and that's a number. Of course, his subscribers are over 1.7 million, but almost 1.8. But my subscribers are not that many. But if we can look at the percentage, at least everybody should get a notification who has pressed on the bell. And I wonder how many people on my channel have actually pressed the bell. Maybe they just haven't. Maybe that's why they don't receive notification. Chris says, I watched a program the other day about the drug problem with homeless people in Vancouver. I know there's drug problem all over the world, but this one was about Vancouver and the people that are trying to help them with shelters. Yeah, that problem with drugs are everywhere. You know, unfortunately, people in life are trying to escape from life. They're constantly looking for excuses to live. And one way for them is to escape. And they find escape through pleasure. A pleasure of this, pleasure of that, many different kind of pleasures, and some find it in the pleasure they receive from drugs. I guess there must be some pleasure, otherwise when life is all about pain and pleasure, why would people use drugs if there would be no pleasure to them? But I think on top of that, there'll be addiction, that they will get addicted. Maybe at the beginning they feel, I don't know how they feel, but I guess they feel something that puts them totally out of the problems that they may be facing, to the point that they feel like through that, whatever they feel, they have no sense of feeling anything is wrong in their lives, which is escape. People use alcohol, some of them. People use gambling, I guess, to forget the challenges of their life, which is totally not the way to live. You cannot escape from something at the same time solve it. If there's a challenge, you can't escape from it. You got to solve it so the challenge would go away. But if you constantly try to find escape, you will be indefinitely escaping in order to create a state of being. So you're trying to be by escaping. How could that work? But mentality, in your mentality, it in a way works, because you're escaping from mental worries and challenges of life through an illusory state of being, which is created through, I don't know, alcohol, drugs, or whatever it is that you become addicted to. People could be addicted to many things. Maybe some people just go to gym all the time in order to escape from something. Maybe some people just go do this sport and that sport. Not because it's time to do that sport, is because they just are trying to escape from something else by having their mind focus on something that is pleasurable, pleasant to them. And through pleasure, they escape from pain. But everything that brings pleasure, there's a pain to it. The pain of losing it, pain of not having it. Now, hopefully that pleasure that you're seeking is not coming from anything bad for you, such as drugs and alcohols and things like that. But even so, if it's not coming from anything negative, there is a pain in every pleasure. Pain of losing the chance of having what you feel pleasure by having it. Anyhow, let's see what we have here. Jose Carlos says, nevertheless, you are quite helpful. As in my case, I really needed advice, and the one you gave us. Thank you, Jose. Delighted that it's helpful. Excalibur says, 18,300 subscriber. Slowly but surely, when I discovered you a few years ago, it was about 12,000. I know you wanted to be faster, but it will come. Yeah, it will come by the time I'm bloody dead. There's so many channels on YouTube that have gone numbers that is unbelievable, and of course the contents are different, but I wonder how it's happened. Excalibur says, why do you think drugs are so sought after? I think we discussed it. Escape, pleasure, pressure that people are facing with. Bullying. People are facing bullying by governments, by the legal systems that is not just, by taxes, taxmen, by taking their money by force, by unfair treatment of them. There's so much pressure in this so-called modern life that we never had it. No wonder our grandfathers lived to be 110, 105 years old. My grandfather lived 110 years old, I believe. 105, 110. And he would take 3-hour walk when he was, I don't know, 90 years old. And all because the man-made pressures and challenges that are being created all through greeds of governments and all through undemocratic procedures and treatment of people. All these money mongering, they didn't exist in the old times the way it exists now. The human values have changed. Everybody justifies every goddamn shitty things that they do because it makes them money. The governments are involved in all kinds of shit, but they have legalized what they do and illegalized what the others do who are not part of the government. So these are things that puts pressure and brings anxiety on people around the world, affects their health. Nobody likes to be forced, and as long as there's no real democratic system in the world, but they pretend it's democratic because some things are democratic and some things are not. As long as there's no real democracy in the world, the governments don't find themselves accountable to people that they actually elect them. As soon as they're elected, they think, oh, okay, I'm now elected. I do whatever the hell I want to do. And they come up with rules and laws to take care of the country, supposedly financial state of the country, rather than the financial states of the people. What is country? Country are people. You got to take care of the people. The laws should be abiding by certain rules that will not jeopardize the freedom and safety and well-being of human beings, of the people who that system is for. Instead, the system has come to be the one that should be dictating the well-being of the people. The well-being of the people comes secondary to the system's well-being. That's bullshit. Anyhow, don't get me upset. Let me go. And Stefan Carlson says, what is your son's channel called? I would like to check it out. It's called SW Theory, Star Wars Theory. SW Theory. He's got the largest, biggest Star Wars channel outside of the Star Wars themselves. And he worked day and night, still does, day and night. Aha, we hit 13 people. That's not bad. I'm getting second wind. Chris says maybe to take them away from the situation they are in. Yes, yeah, that's right. Excalibur says you cannot escape from it and solve it. Great quote. That's right. That's right. Somebody got to write all those quotes. Kevin says, hello, Mehran. Hello, Kevin. Says, I haven't fully moved on, but I started going to gym and doing mindfulness meditation, and those two are helping me a lot. Good. I'm hoping eventually when we have enough people, we'll do live meditation, and you guys will enjoy that part of our program as well. Gotcha Dark Angel says, I want to die. Well, we all will someday. What's the hurry? Gotcha Dark Angel says, because of a breakup. Really? So you came on this earth, and the only focus and the duty that you feel you have on this earth, the only contribution, the only reason for you to be on this earth was a relationship with a girl who broke up. So that's the expectation of you for this world. You haven't figured out how important you are yet for this world, for the continuation of the balance of this universe. You haven't realized how important you are for that balance. Every single one of us, whether we know it or not, we are here to create that balance. We must be here. We must cherish our life, protect our life, focus on it, enjoy it, bring enjoyment to the others, bring service to the others, to ourselves. Be positive, extend positive energy, be hopeful, create, and do not stop when something goes wrong in the way that we think, because that thing that seems to have gone wrong could actually be the way it should be, actually be how things are going right. Because maybe that what you were involved was not actually going to be what you should be looking for and what would be good for you. Therefore, the wrong is being righted, but because it doesn't have the pleasure that you were expecting, you think it's being done wrong now, and it was right then. No, the breakup is not always negative. Breakup is the opening of the gate of the other possibilities that you would have never met if you were still remaining in that relationship. When a relationship breaks down, it simply tells you, oh, it's not compatible. And why would you ever want to be with someone that actually decides to break up with you? It just tells you that why should you want to be with someone who wants to break up with you? That tells you that's not a good relationship. And you need to abandon that. And if it has been abandoned for you, kudos. Because then you will have the opportunity to enter the gates, the openings of other opportunities that await you, which are the right choice. Because the one that is broken up cannot be the right choice. The right choice does not break up, stays. And as long as you guys are together, it's working, fine. When someday, for some reason, due to changes, dynamic changes of the consciousness, you guys are no longer compatible, then that's the time that breakup happens. And that's the time to move on to other opportunities, because that's your cue that this duration for this experience is over, but life continues stronger, using the experiences you accumulated in that, and now use it for a better relationship for the future. That's how it works. But every time that something breaks down, you're supposed to think, well, that's the end of it. I don't want to go. You're in a car. Your car breaks down. What are you going to do? I don't want to ride a car anymore. I don't want to go to my destination. I don't want to go and do and be happy to wear the celebration that I was on my way to get there. No, you won't say that. You hop on a bus. You get another car because that car broke down. Why do you want to be sitting in the car that you just broke down? It is telling you, I'm no good anymore for you. Get out and walk. That's what you should be doing. But when things break down with your girlfriend, with your relationships, suddenly you think that was the only vehicle that you could have been sitting in. And now that is not broken up, there is going to be no relationship ever. So, I want to die. Really? Is that your whole life was worth? Just to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? Don't you have respect for yourself? Don't you have understanding that others are waiting to get to know you? And this was a blessing that broke up, because he broke up because he wasn't right. Now look for the right one. Go on, find the one that you're looking for. It's out there. And don't talk nonsense. It's a disrespect to life, disrespect with the fact that you've been given the opportunity to be here in this life and enjoy and thrive. Be happy. Go count your star that it broke down. Why would you want to be in a relationship that someone doesn't want to think of it the same as you do? That is not the right relationship. You should disqualify her because of that. Wish her well and wish yourself well and move on and find another. And don't talk nonsense. Excalibur says, I agree. The stupid, horrific, man-made pressures is making everyone miserable. Combine that with the greed, like you said, and the completely fake social media competition on who has the better life, carefully crafting the image of a perfect life to appear more than one actually is. So, how far we've gone down? Quite a bit. Chris says, maybe we set up the world in the completely wrong way. Money, taxes, and man-made things. We're on a planet in the universe and we have wars, poverty, taxes, and man-made things. A lot of it caused by religion, and others by which country you're coming from. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Absolutely. Instead of hand in hand making this world to be so perfectly in tuned, provide for everything that we need, and so gives us the encouragement and the ability to envision bigger and better things and evolve to bigger and better things and do important things, accomplish important tasks, invent, bring about, create. Instead, we are focusing on making money to eat and pay the government taxes to do their bullshit and make more money. We all need to pay taxes, that's for sure, because we need to have a good organized society. But the way it's being administered and the way it's being calculated, the way it's the rules of it, I think it needs a rethinking to come up with a more fair and better way to do these things. So people won't get hurt by thinking that government is first, people are second. No, people are government. People should be taken care of, respected, loved. Their well-being comes first, not the government's money, or all that money is actually coming from people. These people work for it. So they're the most important ones. The government seems to think, most governments in the world seems to think that they own people. It's not true. We all people, all the same. We all have the same needs. We all got to be protected, even protected from the government itself that thinks is trying to do its share. They got to be more careful. Governments should be more fair than anything else because we chose them. So it means if they're not good, people should vote them out. You know, that's why elections are there. Democracy is everything. And that extends into behavior of the government as well. Not just people should behave and government can do whatever the hell they want. No, they should be accountable as well, all the time, if not even more. Okay. Now, Excalibur says, thank you for the answers. Very informative, and the sound of wind and cars passing in the background is very relaxing. Good. Kevin says, hey, gotcha. I've been there. One thing I learned from Mehran's video is that you don't need to seek validation from others. There are so many reasons to be happy. Yourself is more important than your ex. That's my boy, Kevin. Good for you. So it looks like I haven't been wasting my time at all. Delighted to hear that, Kevin. Kudos. Excalibur says, so did you tell Mama Mehran this time, or did you forget again? No, I did tell my mother that everyone wishes her well. She's home now. She had a procedure that they had to put a stent in the artery, and she's home, and she will have to go back in a week or two to another procedure that she would be having to undergo. And thank you for that, Excalibur. Jose Carlos says, sometimes we want someone in our lives, even though they are not good for us. It is not until we learn to love ourselves that maybe we will find the one for us. Yes, that's right. We often want something, and we think that something and someone is right for us because we get certain kind of a pleasure from. If we focus on the fact that our intention, our motivation to want a relationship is not necessarily the quality of that person, and it is the pleasure that we feel, and we're seeking that pleasure, we desire the pleasure, then we would be more in tune to what is or is not good for us. But if we focus on the pleasure, then we think anything that is pleasurable makes us feel good, then is good for us. It's not true. Pleasure makes you feel good, but not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. That's the difference. People fall into this trap of thinking that something makes me feel good, it must be good for me. So let me have more drinks because I feel la 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 la. So I drink more. But they don't know when it's too much, your liver is going to say, ah. And eventually it's going to cause other things. So you got to not focus on the fact that just because something feels good, it must be good for me. No, not at all. Lots of people feel good. Lots of things feels good when you try it, I guess. Otherwise, why would people try it? Because it probably makes them feel good. But many of these things that makes you feel good is hazardous for your life. You got to figure that out. So think deep and judge well before you commit yourself to experiencing a certain pleasure. I don't know, maybe you jump off a cliff. It must make you feel like a bird flying. Feels good, pleasurable. Until, boom, you hit the ground. That's too late. So not everything that makes you feel good is going to end up making you feel good. You got to watch for that. And Excalibur says, oh, there we go. I'm glad the first procedure went well. And of course, hopefully the second one goes smoothly as well. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that kind of you. Excalibur. Kevin says, Mehran, what do you think of these dating coaches that are causing no contact rule, that are using no contact rule after breakup to attract an ex and make her come back? You can make an ex maybe come back through some tricks and here and there and missing each other, because human being forgets the bad things. So when there is no contact for a while, I guess either one will forget what was going wrong, and they forget about their own ego having played a role in it. They forget about all the things that was bothering them, and they only remain with the good memories of that duration of the relationship, which would cause them to think, oh yeah, why did I break up? Maybe we can get back together. And they do. But then again, all the things that actually led to get to where these guys broke up is still there. Nothing has been resolved. Only memory has changed. You forgot about the things that bothered you guys. The steam is lowered. Therefore, you're not angry anymore. When you're not angry, mind settles down. Mind settles down, all the bad things go down below, and only good things stay in forefront of the memory. And then with that emotion, you start trying it again, because you don't necessarily are affected by all that negativity or the pain or the things that you experienced. But all the reasons that those experience and the pain and differences and conflicts and divisions created are still there in the consciousness. They never deal with what was going on, what the differences were in the consciousness. They only deal with, let me just cover it up so it won't show for now. So they get back to you. See, I told you you can get back to, I can make you guys get back to each other. That's bullshit. If you haven't dealt with the difficulty, conflicts and division, the reasons of it, from the depth of it, you will get back to where it went. You get back together, but again, you will have conflicts coming even worse than last time. So just getting back together by the no contact bullshit is just tricks. You got to understand each other's consciousness. Focus on the differences. Understand each other's conditionings. These are what makes people understand. That's why I don't coach in that way. I don't like to create hope, while this is a natural characteristics of every human being, that you will forget pain. That's why people forgive each other, and they didn't even really dealt with the issue. They just forgave each other and therefore The conditioning in the consciousness haven't changed. They just forgive each other because we have this capacity, compassionate, to love, to forget bad things and remember good things. And on that basis, we can go through a whole years of life of constantly being hurt, forgiving each other, hurt, forgiving each other, and they never deal with the problem, but thinking that, oh yeah, we're dealing with it. No. Oh, it's working when we have no contact. No. It's just the natural ability that each human being has. All right. Jessie says, hello, I've been dating someone casually for a couple of months, but she says I have uncanny similarities to an ex and it's caused her to feel guarded. What should I do? Tell her that is definitely I am different than your ex, but I want you to look at me as I am, not perceive me as who I might be or who I remind you of, triggering, perceiving me rather than seeing the actuality of mine. So why don't you simply talk about the things you don't like or you do like, and let me become aware of it if there are things that bothers you, rather than just saying it's similar to that X. Instead, just let's deal with what is it that bothers you from me, and I will see if it's something I can deal with or not. So see me for who I am, that's what I ask, and let's spend enough time to get to know each other and then talk about the things that bothers us about each other, rather than simply saying because it's similar to the ex and the ex broke up, so therefore I don't want to continue getting to know you. That's not fair to me, because obviously I cannot be your ex. I'm not your ex. I'm totally different, but every human being could have some similarities that maybe in your ex could not be remedied or could not be changed because of his consciousness was different, his psyche was different, but maybe by noticing it or discussing it with me, I will become aware of it. If it's something not positive, I would be more than happy to deal with it and take it as a project to change it. And same thing with you. I think maybe that would be something to say. Jose says, I hope the second operation goes well too. Thank you very much, Jose. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. Jose says, in which case is good to get back with an ex? Okay. Oh, I forgot Kevin. Kevin says, yes, exactly. That's also what I am thinking. That's why I'm focusing on being the better version of myself, so whether she comes back or not, I'll become better. Yeah, but the thing is, don't always think it's she comes back, she doesn't come back. Why is it up to her? Why can't you say, well, I'm doing my best, I'm being the best version of myself I can be, and there are some difficulties there too. I don't necessarily have to be with her. Why should I be thinking that she's all perfect just because I get certain pleasure and I'm programmed to pursue what I'm programmed to pursue? Loving a woman, but not at all cost. She should also qualify, otherwise I go to another woman. So it should be a mutual respect and balance, rather than you thinking, she left me, I hope she comes back. Why don't you say, she left me, I'm gonna leave too? Why should I wait for her to come back? What did I do? If you did something bad, yeah, I understand that. But if you didn't, you were a normal person. But she just seems to want to exercise her will to put pressure on you in a certain way, or she lost interest. That's her right. Fine. But why do you have to wait for her to come back and change her mind? She lost interest. Well, wish her well, and wish yourself well, and lose interest as well. Lose interest in the one that loses interest in you if you have been decent and haven't done anything wrong. Have pride in yourself. Expect better quality, both of you. men or women. So, Carlos says, in which case it's good to get back with an ex. In my case, I understand that me and my ex walk paths that go in different directions. But every story is different. Only focus on your own story. Don't worry about which case. If it was something worthwhile to get back to, you guys would figure it out and we'll get back to. But if it's not there and the consciousnesses are not compatible enough, cannot compromise, cannot understand each other, respect and try to resolve their differences or understand each other's conditionings and respect each other's differences, because conflicts and divisions do exist. You can't get rid of that. If you can't do any of that, then why do you have to be together? For what? Only the pleasure part should be a dominant factor here? Because there is an intimacy, so I want to get back together, regardless of what the shit I go through. You shouldn't be like that for neither one of you. Jose says, as Kevin, I'm working on being a better version of myself. Good for you. Jesse says, I've had bad breakups as well, but I was somewhat surprised at her hesitancy surfacing based on an ex to the level that it is. I can sense her clamming up as soon as we are around one another. Jesse says, yet at the same time seem very interested in getting to know me. Okay. My concern is her allowing this mental and emotional comparison to get in the way of what can be built between us. Well, that's why I said explain to her what she's going through. I will, when it's uploaded, you can re-listen to what I said and make it clear to her why she's feeling that way about you. Is because she's not looking at you as who you are, what you are, as unique as you are, as how you're looking at her. She's perceiving you based on the experiences she had in the past by someone else. And when she sees something similar, no longer she continues with following what is that she's interacting with you. Instead, she goes into her memory and remembers everything else that is going to follow up that particular situation as it did in the past. Therefore, she no longer is concerned about how this will evolve. She'll just have a conclusion of how the experience was, and therefore she loses interest to follow it up and see how the actuality plays out. So make her understand of this, and then give yourselves enough room to grow together, at least get to know each other better before you guys become disinterested. Kevin says, thank you. I'll keep that, Mehran. Noted. You really are very good in these things. Not like other channels sucking money on others who are promising to get an ex comeback, giving us false hope. Yeah, well, maybe that's why I'm not famous. My channel is not thriving because we haven't sucked up money out of anybody. And Koala Man says, hi, so great to see you live. It's so great to see myself alive. Oh, you mean live? Tell me, please, even after 8 months, I still struggle. I'm growing, but still miss her deeply and can't stop thinking of her. Yeah, because you are programmed to miss her. You want woman, you love woman, and what's there not to miss? Woman is wonderful, beautiful. Their smile is the world, encourages us to go on and do amazing things, and their kudos and affirmation of something we did, just the energy is nothing to do with her, nothing to do with you. That's how you're programmed. You're programmed to love women. You're a heterosexual male, you're programmed to love women, to appreciate, to adore, and to want to protect and serve a woman as best as you can. So you are going to miss her. What's not there to miss? Why shouldn't you miss her? All the good memories. Miss her, but understand, just because you miss something that was good and made you feel good, that doesn't mean that you should continue being with that thing, because that duration, that compatibility is over. Because as you each evolve through in your daily life, dynamically, constantly, the consciousness is reconditioning and growing and changing. At one point, you guys were compatible based on the conditioning you had received on your consciousness. But through the relationship and through the growings that you were doing, through your daily lives and experiences and your age and experience and everything else, you guys have come to have enough conflicts and divisions between the two consciousnesses that no longer enjoying to be with together. At least that's how she felt. So she left. And because she left, even though you didn't, but because she left, that should be a disqualifying factor. Why would you want to be with someone who has left you? That should be disqualifying. Not that say, oh, because she leaves me, then I want her more, because she doesn't want me. No, you should say, the one that I want would be the one who actually also wants me. At one point in the relationship, if the one that you want doesn't want you anymore, that's a disqualifying factor. Not that, oh, what did I do? She doesn't want me. And you've been decent, you've been good, you haven't been abusive or anything like normal. That's not where you would say, oh, I want her more because she doesn't want me. No, you say she doesn't want me, she lost qualification. I don't want her anymore. Because I only want a woman who wants me. If the woman doesn't want me, that's her right. But at the same time, it's my right not to want a woman who doesn't want. So when a woman breaks up with you, that's not supposed to be the cause of you wanting her more and feel deflated, or you feel unappreciated, or you feel inferior. When a woman breaks up with you, that's her own disqualification. She's disqualified herself to be wanted by you. But nobody looks at it that way. You think the woman's choice defines you. So when she decides not to want you, you think you have been dissed. You have been diminished in your value. Because your value is supposed to be coming from you, your contribution to the society, how you accomplish your goals in life, and what it is that you're out there to, you're set out to accomplish in life. But you don't look at it. You gauge your validity and your worth and value, your confirmation and affirmation. You gauge your value based on the pleasure you receive. You think pleasure is the currency of your value. If I am receiving, doing something that gives me pleasure, I feel I'm successful. I feel I'm valuable. My worth and value has gone up through pleasure, experiencing pleasure. She leaves you, pleasure has left. When pleasure leaves, you feel inferior. You feel inferior, you want the pleasure more, you want her more in order to feel good about yourself, become more valuable again through the pleasure of having her. You're not noticing these are all bullshit. You're supposed to disqualify her not based on the fact that a pleasure has left you, therefore you feel devaluated, therefore you got to go after her in order to get your value back. You should think pleasure has left you is not the way to think about it. She, as a person, as a consciousness, has left you, and you will use that as a disqualification of her, because she cannot, no one could be qualified for you to want her if she doesn't want you. That's how you should think. That's what I have to say about that. Excalibur said, what are you doing after the stream? Well, actually, I should cut the stream in about 10 minutes because I have Skype consultation coming up, and that would be with someone in UK, and that's not you, Chris, by the way. You know that, don't you? We will talk tomorrow, I believe, unless you're still up after my session. And Kuala says, wow, Mehran, you're amazing. Thank you. It's like the head agrees, but the heart won't follow. She disqualified herself. Yes, she did. She did. Now go and tell me which other channel talks to you guys like this, or has this roots of understanding of how you should be analyzing things. I rest my case. God damn it, get this channel known, guys. Whatever the hell it is that you're supposed to do, talk about it in chat rooms or whatever it is that you guys do. What are you waiting for? Till I become 9 years old and I can't talk anymore? Use me while I'm energetic, young. Am I young? Maybe so. Chris says, oh yes, okay. Excalibur says, oh, I see. Thank you for the beautiful session, like usual. Very informative, relaxing. I will definitely tune in tomorrow. Chris says, no, bedtime for me soon. Yeah, okay. No bedtime for me soon, or no bedtime for me soon? Which one is it? Carlos says, thank you so much. Kind regards from Spain. It's getting late. Yes, it is. Jose Carlos says, your channel is a blessing. Promote it, Jose. Promote it in España. In Spain. Promote it. I want all the matadors and all the good people of Spain, which I've heard a lot about it. In fact, my mom and dad did visit Spain, and they had a great time. They said so many wonderful things about it. So promote it in Spain. Make us famous. Make this channel available. It's free, guys. It's free. 1,500 videos and counting. Everything you can think of under the sun after your breakup about the movement of mind, about the movement of your mind, your consciousness, thoughts, fear, desire, ego, all of that, plus breakups, emotional problems, all there. Anything you can think of, there's a video about it. Use it and share it on social media. Make us known. Put us on the map. Stefan says, what is your age right now? I'm 64 years old, Stefan. In fact, October 2nd or 3rd, was it? It was my birthday. And Chris says, I'm going bed soon. So, okay, yeah, good, all right. And Excalibur says, Matadors breakup treatment. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. I love you all. It's time for me. Poor bulls, though. No. I don't agree with what they do with the bulls. I have to say, I do not agree the bullfighting. I want the bulls to be free, healthy, and relaxed, and enjoy their lives. I don't like bullfighting. That's for the record. Jose. Okay, guys, it's time for me to go. And Excalibur says, thank you, take care, dear. Okay, thank you for the love. I appreciate that. I love you guys, and thank you very much for being here, allowing me to share a thing or two with you. I hope that you will take good care of yourself, and I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.